Mike, student life pastor at Calvary Chapel, Bakersfield. I want to talk to any students that might be watching this because I want you to understand that in the middle of sadness, in the middle of loneliness, or maybe in the middle of wanting to give up on life, there's hope. During this Easter season, I want to share with you how Easter changed everything in my life. Back in 1976, I was heading into my junior year of high school. My life to that point had been pretty much dysfunctional. My parents divorced when I was 11. My dad, a former Green Beret, he was a man that I placed on a pedestal. He rarely worked and drank alcohol all day, every day, but I thought he could do no wrong. I just thought everybody's dads drank like him. My dad taught me about the outdoors, how to survive, to hunt, fish, camp. He taught me how to drink. My dad had also been sexually abusing me from the time I was 10 years old. This led me to have absolutely no self-esteem. Entering my junior year, I felt as though I was a nobody. There were certain people in school that I really envied. It seemed like everyone wanted to be their friends. They were the popular kids. Man, I just wanted people to acknowledge my existence. I felt like people just looked right through me. It was my first year of varsity football, so I thought maybe that would help. But those popular guys on the team, they still barely acknowledged me. To most of them, I just felt like a tackling dummy. You know, we had a great team that year, so being a marginal athlete at the time, I didn't see the field very much. My popularity would obviously not be coming anytime soon, or so I thought. During this time, almost every member of our team had been convinced by a couple of other seniors to come to a team gathering every Thursday night. At these gatherings, some short, older guy named Albie would sit around with us and tell us stories about his life as a professional athlete. He was the first man to ever score a run for the newly formed California Angels in the 60s. But he would also share stuff about the Bible and about Jesus. Well, none of it really resonated with me, so I didn't do much listening, or so I thought. I was just there for the pizza and the cookies. As October rolled around, me and two of my friends, we were looking forward to turning 16 within a week of each other. Now, my mom and my stepdad, they were pretty liberal parents, and they decided that it was okay if the three of us had a small birthday bash at our house with alcohol, because it was just going to be a few close friends. Yeah, things were different in those days. Well, living in a small town, word soon got out about the little birthday party, and it soon spread like wildfire, and our small little birthday party turned into about 200 to 300 kids with large amounts of alcohol descending upon our house on a Saturday night. The following Monday, unexpectedly, my dream had come true. Because of the party at my house, people knew me. People were acknowledging me. People who had never given me the time of day were suddenly going out of their way to speak to me. I was suddenly popular. Everything I had desired was coming to pass. It felt great. Well, sort of. The reality is that after a few days, I didn't feel much different. Yeah, more people, they knew me. They acknowledged me. More people wanted to be my friend, but nothing had changed inside of me. I still felt like nobody. There was a nagging emptiness that I just couldn't shake. 2 weeks after the party, I was home with a case of strep throat. As I sat in our home by myself, a feeling of loneliness came over me like I had never experienced before. It was a feeling that was so tangible that it weighed on me to the point that I wanted to end my life. I hurt so badly inside that I began to weep. All I could think of was that I was having a nervous breakdown or something. I had walked to my bedroom and laid across my bed as my mind raced through thoughts of loneliness, suicide, who I could talk to, where I could get help, then back to the pain of loneliness, and then back to suicide. In the midst of this, from somewhere in the recesses of my mind, the name Jesus just flashed in my head. My mind continued to race, but then began to slow as the name kept coming back. Jesus, Jesus. Then many of the things the short old guy had been telling us at our football meetings came flooding back to my mind. Jesus loved me so much that he died for me. There's hope in Jesus. Jesus has a plan for me. Jesus created who I am, and he loves me. As I continued to weep uncontrollably on my bed, I did something that I had never really done beyond now I lay me down to sleep. I prayed, and it was a prayer from a place of despair I had never felt, and it was simple. Jesus, if you're real, reveal yourself to me somehow. In that instant, I felt something happening within me that still defies all human logic. From the bottom of my feet, I felt what I can only describe as a warm, comforting sensation that began moving up through my legs, then my body, and right into my head. I sat straight up on the edge of my bed as though struck by 1,000 volts of energy. I cried out to God, suddenly recognizing all the sin in my life, and I laid it all before Him. Tears were still streaming down my face, but they were different tears. These tears were coming from a place of joy, a place I couldn't understand, a place where I knew the weight and the burden of sin had been lifted off of me. Yes, Jesus was real, and something had radically changed within me. That was nearly 44 years ago. Yes, as I said earlier, Easter changed everything in my life. I know I said this all happened in October and Easter is much later, but during the Easter season, it is simply a time of year that we commemorate the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus. It is because of what we celebrate during this season, because of His death and His resurrection, that hope was restored in my life. Without the forgiveness of sin, we are not able to be in the presence of God. Without His presence, all that is left is emptiness, doubt, fear, and hopelessness. Because of what Jesus has done, our ability to experience the presence of God is restored to us. I want to encourage you today, cry out to Him from whatever place of pain or uncertainty you might feel. Take advantage of the gift He offers you, forgiveness and restoration with the One who created you. Thanks for listening, and God bless you. I'll be praying for you. Happy Easter.